Good evening, class, and welcome to your virtual course, Math 45, College Algebra. My name is Dr. Araipur. You can call me Dr. A. I have sent you several emails regarding the course. I hope you've had a chance to explore that. I understand some students just joined us recently. In any event, this is the homepage of Canvas. And I've set it up with numbers so you can easily follow everything from number 1 on. Number 1 is a welcome message. I'm welcoming you to the course. I'm very happy to have you here, and I wish everybody best of luck. Number 2 is the class philosophy. So this class is a community, and therefore we all have the same objective to learn. We want to learn from one another, and we want to do that with dignity and utmost respect for one another. Number 3, announcements. Let me put this in student mode. You can get to the announcements right from here, or on the left navigation bar, you see the announcements. I had set up a bunch of announcements, and what happens is that I send those announcements through an email, and then you can find it here in case for some reason you want to go back to it or you miss it for some reason if the email address is not proper. So we had an old recorded orientation, welcome on orientation, exemption to orientation, and several welcome to your virtual course. The purpose of that was so you get started, if you like, as early as you like. Then we have number 4. What do we find under number 4? We have the syllabus, modules. Under the modules, we can find practice test, PowerPoints, solution to practice test, or keys, if you will. You can find your homework there under MOM, My Open Math, and note homework is set up such that you watch some video lecture / lesson assessment before starting each homework. Then we have the keys, discussion forum, exams, and here's the office hours if you need to come by, student office hours, and you have the link here. So let's take it from the top and start with the syllabus, everybody. You can find it right here or under the left navigation bar where it says syllabus. Either way is fine. So a couple of things. The second one is the Excel calendar. So basically, it tells you what we should do on a normal basis to stay at top of the game, and every few weeks we have an exam. And the first assignment is due immediately within the next few days. I expect you to do it probably tonight. We will discuss that later on. It's introduction to your digital homework, which is free. And so we will get back to that. The next one is the syllabus. Since, of course, I welcome you to the course first, and then since syllabi are getting longer and longer, I have put them in this format where you can go over a topic of interest that you have. So I want to spend a couple of minutes going over the whole thing. So the course, the name of the course, section number, student learning outcome, course objectives, text. You can find it here. You can also find it in My Open Math, which I'm going to refer to it as MOM from now on. I will show it to you later on. It's from OpenStax and it's free. Digital homework is from My Open Math and it's free. And here's class calendar. Of course, here's the orientation or the start, which takes place today. And then this is the date of the exams. I've set up so you can take the exams on Saturdays. Bear in mind that about a week in advance, you receive an email regarding the exam. And you can take the exam anytime you want, as long as it's before the expiration time. And the exam reviews take place in class the prior weeks. And there is no proctorial. I assume we are all here to learn. And as I mentioned, exam review takes place in prior weeks. And attending review sessions is highly recommended, but in case you don't, everything is recorded. You can find them under the recorded practice test lectures. I'll show you. So bear in mind that exams expire at 11:59, but you've got to give it a few hours because otherwise you won't have enough time. You know, each exam has maybe 120 minutes, 2 hours or more. And so you need to spend 2 hours on the exam. So you want to start quite a few hours before the expiration time. So this assignments are online, and we have 2 class meetings, of course, important dates, calculators. For certain exams, you may not be able to use a graphing calculator, but you do have graphing calculator, access to graphing calculator, scientific calculator. You know, scientific calculator can be used anytime. Graphing calculators for some exams may be not a good idea. Tech support for the Digital Homework My Open Math or the campus, Math Success Center, MSC for short, the tutoring center, if you will. There are other websites that are helpful. This is probably the most important part for students. So we have the online homework worth 200 points. The online homework is set up such that you can do it before the expiration time and take as long as you want. And you can go back and forth. You can go halfway and then finish it later on. As long as it's done before the due date, you get 4 credit for it, assuming everything is correct, of course. The participation slide discussion board, there are 5 of them. Each one is worth 20 points. Those are easy 100 points. We have 4 exams. Each one is worth 100 points. And the final, which is comprehensive, 300 points, total of 1,000 points. What I want to go over right now is the final, because although it's comprehensive, it's very easy. All you have to do, master the previous exams by reviewing the previous exams, and there's only 1 module left. So most students find it fairly easy. There is no makeup test. If it comes up that something happens, you let me know in advance. I'll try to accommodate you. And the reason it's not is very simple, because you have a whole week to take the exam anytime you want, as long as it's done before the due day, which is again all on Saturdays. It's fine. Aside from that, the first 4 exams, the lowest of that will be dropped if and replaced by the final exam if the final score is 80% or higher. Homework and discussion board are at least at 90 or 95%, because it has to be very high. And this action will result in a higher, and you'll see that it's easy to get those grades for the homework and the discussion forums. Of course, if you fail to take an exam in a timely manner, it counts as 0. The course late work policy, there is a 10% deduction for some of the online assignments that you are able to get a late pass, but I recommend you don't do that. There are things that you can't, and there's a exception to that. For example, you can't have a late pass for the first mandatory assignment, which is Introduction to My Open Math or discussion forums or exams. How much time do I need for success in the course? I like this CSULB study 36, and you can look it up. In short, it says, for every unit, we need to study 3 hours outside the class. So this is a 4-unit course, 4 times 3. You need to study 12 hours outside the class to be on the safe side. And of course, it depends on prior knowledge of mathematics, and it does change from student to student, but that's the general rule of thumb. Drop-in policy: students who are not here today or do not register with the publisher immediately or miss the assignments, the first one, which is introduction to MOM, or miss any of the exams, will be dropped as an option. Then I have some helpful websites such as the ESPS, financial aid, and so on. Also, summary steps to success. This is interesting. Study the PowerPoints in each module. Do your homework before the deadline under the module link. Watch the video lecture embedded in homework set in by OpenMath. Study the practice test and solution. Post a question in the discussion forum. And if you have a question, you can either ask me in class or send it to me via Canvas inbox or campus email. And of course, attend the review session, take the exam by their due date. Here's the student office hours, and it's not only here, you can also find it on the home page, at the bottom of the home page. All right, so you can find it here or in the syllabus. There are other helpful sites like Basic Needs, Justice Scholar programs. I want to discuss, they call it Netiquette for online learning. And these are the guidelines or behaviors associated with socializing online. And these are suggestions for success in your online course. So a couple of them in short: you want to show that you're a professional, you're courteous towards your fellow students, of course, towards everybody. We want to be that way. And we want to use the correct spelling and grammar. This is a college class. And of course, as always, with a positive tone, and follow the course discussion board guidelines, and of course, being respectful of everybody. So that's something we want to really be mindful of. So that is the syllabus. And going back to the home page, the next one is the module. So let's see what we find under the modules. If you click on the modules on the left navigation bar or right here, makes no difference. It takes you to the module site, and the very first thing is access to your digital homework via My OpenMath. And see, it says no need for course ID because this question has come up several times in the past. If you click on it, what happens? It will ask you for a username, password, or just create an account. And it's just like any other account. You create your own account, then you can be let in. And I'm going to go over that at the last part when I go over the MOM. It's, assignments and how you deal with that. Then exam 1 module, which has the practice test, PowerPoints, and the key to the practice test. Same thing happens with module 2, 3, 4, and module 5 is only 1 chapter. So when we master one of them, if we master module, exam 1 module, the rest of them follow. At the end, I also have this graphing calculator, TI calculator commands. I want to show you something here, and that is, I put this together for you, and this has the TI calculator command. And on the first page, you may be able to find a TI-84 emulator that works for you. Again, sometimes it's hard to make it work. You can go to YouTube video, see if you can learn how it works, and if need be, call the tech support, see if they can help you. But if it works, it'll look like this, okay? And it's just a regular calculator. Honestly, sometimes it's very difficult to make it work, so you got to figure this out. Then I have some commands, and I will show you some other calculators that you can find within my Open Math. So I'll show you under the resources. So this is the last module here. Okay, so let me close it up. And so let's go back up. So the first one we said is MOM, and the next one says exam one module. What do we find here? And the very first thing, why is it that the first thing is the practice test? Well, I believe it's important for students to know what's coming their way. So if I were you, I would either print this or just download it into my computer and spend 5 to 10 minutes reading it. This basically tells you what's coming your way for the first exam. This is what you have to do. So the first exam covers this material. Very straightforward, very simple. By the way, the first exam is really extremely simple. What do you find afterwards? This one. These are the PowerPoints. So for example, if I click on the first one, here's the first PowerPoint that comes up. And as long as you watch the PowerPoints on a daily basis, all you have to do 1 or 2 questions of the practice test, okay? If you download this, you can put it in a slide mode. So when you hit the example, as you go through the slide mode, all you have to do, click. It won't show you the whole thing. First, it just shows you the question, then step-by-step solution. If you go back, then you have a chance of going to the next one and the next one and the next one, all of the PowerPoints that pertain to this module. And what happens at the end of exam one module, the last thing you see is the key to the practice test. So not only we have the practice test, we also have the PowerPoints, we also have the key. I highly recommend you do your practice test on a daily basis and then consult the key, make sure you've done it right. In addition to that, on the left navigation bar, if you click on recorded practice test, everybody, recorded practice test, you have the solution to those practice tests that is lectured on step-by-step solution. So you have the practice test, you have the key, and you have a step-by-step solution. Everything is here. All right, let me I left the student view so we can see everything with a little bit more clarity. We're going to continue on that thoughts as far as the homepage is concerned. So we looked at the modules, and under the modules we found most everything. Then the next one is the discussion forum, everybody. You can click on that or on the left navigation bar where it says discussion. The first one is the student bios. So I put mine as an example. So it would be nice if you could put yours so your fellow students get to know you. Then the next one is a frequently asked questions. In the past, students had some questions, and I compiled them here. And if anything new comes up, I put them here. Please, before you ask any questions, read this. For example, one of the questions that they have asked in the past, how to use a math editor. Do I need a course ID? The answer is of course not. And more stuff. I want to mention the last one that has happened also a lot, and I'm surprised because I always mention that every exam is password protected. You receive an email/announcement almost a week in advance, giving you all the information, the number of questions, amount of time, due date, and the password. And if for any reason you miss that, you can always find it under the announcement. Of course, you don't find it now, but it will be there in time. Going back to the discussion forum. The next one, in fact, the next 5 ones. This is module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the 5 that you will be graded upon, and you will receive 20 points for each one. So what should you do? I'm going to look at one of them, and you just do the same thing for all of them. All right, so this is for module 1. So you're required to post at least one question and its solution either from practice test number 1 posted under the modules or any source of your choice per grading policy in the syllabus. You must read all the posts and make sure not to duplicate any questions. Similar questions are acceptable. So basically, you can pick a question that pertains to module 1, whether you pick it up from a source of your own, or even if you pick it up from the practice test, it's fine. Just make sure it's not a duplicate question. So that's why if you don't read others, you may duplicate that and you will lose the points. So what do? Read all the posts, questions and solutions posted by others first, and pick a different question to post. No duplication is allowed. A question with one word solution, one line solution or definition is not acceptable and results in 0 points for the post. And you receive 10 points if you do this right. In other words, you want to pick a worthy question. So you write the question number. If you pick it up from the practice test or even a homework, what is the question number, and copy down the question. Again, it has to be a worthy question. Some questions are not. So be careful with that. Show all steps using the math equation editor or embed an image solution as explained below. It tells you here how to embed an image or use a math editor. I'm going to explain the math editor in a moment. But why is that? Sometimes students upload a file that students can't see and they have to download. That's not acceptable. Students should be able to see the question. And so what is the second step? Find a similar problem online or on YouTube or Khan Academy and post the link. That's 5 points. Then comment on or explain at least one classmate question that is either solved or is found online and posted by watching it carefully in its entirety. Explain about what the question addressed and what you learned from it, and outline a few steps you learned as a result. A compliment is nice, but it's not a comment. To receive credit for this part, write the name of your classmate. 5 and 5 and 10, total of 20 points. Now, I want to make sure everybody understands this part. As far as the comment is concerned, I want the name of your fellow student, and I want to know if I'm reading it, I should have an idea what your fellow students has written about and what is it that you have learned. So, example, I'm giving you an example. I'm just making it up. Solve this equation. And I explain how to solve it. And I'm using math editor to write all the steps. Then I pick a similar question from YouTube. And then I'm going to comment on somebody's work. The post was about, I'm telling what the post was about and what I learned from it. It doesn't have to be a huge paragraph, but it has to be informative. When solving an absolute value equality or inequality, the first step is to isolate the absolute value expression on one side before solving. Now, as far as using the math editor is concerned, you can click on this and reply. Okay, and then insert, and then click on the symbol with the root of x. So if I click insert, it gives me the equation editor. So that's how you use that. All right, so going back, the discussion forum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 20, 100 points. This is how you get those points. I want to go back to the home page. So we looked at the syllabus, we looked at the modules, we looked at the practice test, discussion forum, the office hours. And now it's time to look at the left navigation bar, Math Success Center. This is the tutoring center, everybody. Welcome to Math Success Center. It gives you the timing that they are available. Tutoring, free calculator loan program, resource library, NetTutor. As I understand, NetTutor is available to all students 24 hours a day. Free math stat tutoring, free walk-up tutoring. So please explore this, as it gives you a lot of information in case you need help with tutoring. Needless to say, you can always ask me a question, you can come to the office hours, but this is also available. All right, so again, where do we find that? On the left navigation bar where it says Math Success Center. Now, let me close this up. Let's go to my Open Math. So after you register with MOM or my Open Math, the very first thing you see at top, it says mandatory assignment intro to my Open Math. That's the first thing. So all you have to do, click on it. And when you get started, it basically gives you information about my Open Math, how to work around that. So it's really not that big of a deal. So for example, it says enter this number, and there's some information here you want to read about. DNE does not exist, infinity, so on and so forth. The moment I click on this space, it opens up the math editor. I can use a fraction bar, powers, radicals, you name it. So I just want to put this number in 80.6168. So I put the number in. And the next one says rounded to the nearest hundreds. So you want to round it to this one, 1. Since next 36, it goes up, becomes 80.62. This one you divide by 0. You can't divide by 0. It's undefined. We're going to say DNE does not exist. If you submit the question, notice what happens, everybody. Check mark, check mark, check mark. So I've done it right. Now, question number 2, convert 1/3 to decimal is 0.3 bar. And I don't want to do that. I want to make a mistake on purpose. So I'm going to write 0.2, which is incorrect, everybody. So if I submit question, what happens? It says it's wrong. So what do? Look at this one. Get a similar question. So I can get a similar question. Sometimes it gives me exactly the same question. And I can answer it properly and get 4 credit. Now, I've done all of that. And as I'm doing my homework, something comes up. I have to leave and come back. So all you have to do, if you click done, it shows the first question is done right. And it has registered it already. And I do get 4 credit for that question, and the rest of them are unattempted, which means I can resume or I can exit. I'm going to exit for now, but anytime I go back, it will let me resume from where I left off. The next one is the set of exams. You don't have to worry about it for now. But I put it at the top, near the top, because sometimes students used to miss that. So for example, when the first one comes up, you just click on it, it asks you for the password, and you take it from there. There's only one attempt. This is the course description. Okay, it covers advanced algebra. The course modules folder, you can have it there. And it's got the video assignments and practice/homework assignments. Here's what I want you to notice, and this is extremely important. We are going to do the first assignment today, and I'll tell you why, because it's extremely important. We don't want to take a chance. The second thing I want you to notice, it appears that all of the homework, VA, video assignment, PA, practice assignment, all of them are due the day before the exam. Does it mean that I have to do it right then and there? Of course not. If you want to do it that way, you will never get a chance to finish your homework and get ready for the exam. Instead, you want to do 1 assignment per day, or maybe 2, to be on the safe side. And by the time you get to the week of the exam, pretty much you're done. You concentrate on your practice test so you can nail the exam. Now, what comes afterward? Module 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have modules 1 through 5, just like Canvas. But what is module 0? Let me explain about module 0. First and foremost, this is the text that is used based on, this text has the proper sections we cover based on this one. Why do I put both of them? First of all, I want you to see the proper sections here. Secondly, why this one? Because it's a lot easier to navigate it online. I want to go, let's say, I don't know, to chapter 3, section 3.4. So it takes me right then and there. So it is a lot easier to navigate right here. So I'm going to go back to my open math. So what do I find under module 0? The text. I find the graphing calculator, Desmos. I find the online graphing calculator here. I can find the scientific calculator, meaning you really don't have to pay a penny for anything, including your calculators, okay? Late past calendar, grade book, all of this is explained here. One important thing is that when you're done with an exam and you want to review it the following day, all you have to do, click on the grade here, and it gives you a chance to review that. Free online calculators, it was mentioned here, and videos. So that's module 0. I'm going to close up module 0, and again, you see the list here. For now, the only thing you want to be concerned with is module 1, because the first exam is based on module 1. So when you click on module 1, it covers only chapter 2. And so there are several sections. Just go with the first one and never mind the rest. For now, when you go to the first section, you can click on this and it gives you the text. If you want to do the reading, you don't have to go there if you don't want to. These are video lessons. I highly recommend you watch those. In fact, some students in the past, they just watch those, then they go with the video assignment and the practice assignment. They have no problem. They don't even watch the PowerPoints that I've posted on their modules of Canvas. If that does the job for you, more power to you. So after you watch that, first you do the video assignment, which means you watch some video and then you can answer the questions. Normally, it's not a lot, everybody. Only 6 questions. So it should not take long. So what do you do next? After the video assignment, you go with the practice assignment. Now, in the case of a practice assignment, those are similar questions to those video assignments. And some of these questions, they also have a video next to them if you need help. Video. And some of them don't. So that's why I highly recommend you do it in the order that I mentioned. Watch these videos, go over the video assignment, and then the practice assignment. That's all it takes. It's really simple. Everything is set up for you to do well, but you have to spend the proper amount of time. So what I like to do, and that's exactly like the introduction to MOM, you can do a couple of questions, come back and finish them off later on. So what I want to do, I want to quickly recap everything. This is the home page of Canvas. And I put the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So number 1 is a welcoming message. Number 2 is the class philosophy. We are here to help one another. It's with respect. Number 3 is the announcements. Right here or here, you can find all the announcements which are emailed to you in advance. A syllabus, you can click it here or there. Modules, and under the modules, you can find the MOM. You have to register with that. You can find the practice test. You can find the PowerPoints, and you can find the key to those PowerPoints, as well as the information about the calculator and probably an emulator you can get. And when you go back up here, the practice test key, on the left navigation bar, we have the recorded practice test. So the solution to those with details step by step. Also on the left navigation bar, we have the Math Success Center. This is the tutoring center in case we need any help. And going back to the home page, we looked at the discussion forum on the left side, and the discussion forums. We have student bios, frequently asked questions, and the 5 that are graded from number 1 on, and we are being concerned with the first one only for now. At the end of the home page, this is the student office hours. Also on the left side, the Tech Connect Zoom. In order to get to this class, all you have to do, just click on this and start and join as a student. You have to join. So that's the synopsis of your Canvas as far as my Open Math is concerned. First and foremost, you see the introductory assignment. Then you see the exams. You see the calendar. Please do your homework in a timely fashion by doing 1 section a day. Module 0 contains resources such as your text, calculator, so on and so forth. You start with module 1, and when you master module 1, the rest of them will come to you nice and easy. So it happened to have 1 chapter. You open it up. The first section, you would watch the video lessons. The video assignment will be done next. And finally, the practice assignment 2.1. So that would be the first assignment that you're going to attend. Well, I think it's pretty straightforward, class. I'm going to close this recording, and I'm going to wish you all best of luck and happy studying, everybody.